Hi, welcome to the Foodie and the Struggle channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Jason. I've dedicated this channel for the purpose of educating about food history while also making how-to videos with my personal take on it. If these are things you are interested in, please consider subscribing. I normally have a different format for my videos, but today I'm doing something different. I'm going to show you how to make Lumpiang Sariwa from scratch. It's a humbling process to make from start to finish, but trust me, this dish is not one you want to miss. It'll be worth the time and effort, I guarantee you. Lumpiang Sariwa is many things to me. There's so much I could talk about when it comes to Lumpiang Sariwa. There's a lot of rich history behind its prevalence. There's plenty of symbolism of the dish to the culture as well. To me, making Lumpiang Sariwa is a labor of love. If someone makes it for you, hold on to them forever. They're always going to be someone you need to invite to the family cookout. Lumpiang Sariwa is a very simple dish, but when it comes to making it for a ton of people, it'll take a bit of time out of your day. This is one of those dishes that takes more time preparing than it does cooking it. But wait, we need to rewind and see how we got to wrapping these bad boys up and finding out how they got to our plate. Oh, and one more thing, let's pay homage to the food we're about to receive today. Let's go. Let's start with the mise-en-place. Much of the time making the dish goes into preparing the mise-en-place. I'll be leaving a list of ingredients you'll need right here, so make sure you pause the video to see what goes into making the filling, the wrapper, and the sauce. Remember, this is my take and my recipe on the dish. The things you see on the list are not exclusive to using just those ingredients. I got this crate maker online for about $25, but you can make do without one just by using a skillet. Now that we have everything, let's begin. I'm starting out with all my vegetables. For the romaine lettuce, just cut out the stalk and wash and dry the leaves very well. Onto the carrot. Peel off the skin and we're going to slice these into julienne style matchsticks. My mom showed me this tool she uses that looks very similar to a peeler, but it julienne stings for you before your eyes. I'm very glad she told me about it because julienning vegetables takes me forever because I don't have any knife skills. Next, we'll grab the jicama and do the same thing that we do to the carrot. Keep in mind, jicama is a pretty tough root, so you'll need to put some extra strength in it to peeling and julienning this. Let's move on to the long beans. You can use string beans or green beans if you want, since they're more common at supermarkets. In fact, green beans are more commonly used in traditional Lumpiang Sariwa. I'm using long bean because it was all they had at the local Asian supermarket, but the taste is virtually the same. All we're doing is cutting off the tips from each one and then dicing them into smaller pieces. If you're using green beans, the preparation process is exactly the same. Now onto the onion and garlic. Very simple with these, just dice the onion and mince the garlic. We'll be using these first when starting up the stir fry. I personally like to cook with a lot of garlic, but in this recipe, I'm only using one head of garlic for the sole purpose of keeping this dish simple so that you can watch the steps for practical use and adjust the amounts to your liking. What you can also do with the garlic is fry them until crunchy and then set them aside as garnish. Next, let's do the pork belly. You can skip this step if you're using ground pork, but I personally like to use pork belly because I like the fat that renders out when you fry it, and it helps with releasing a ton of flavor into the dish. I'd like to mention that adding meat or additional protein like shrimp can be excluded from this recipe if you're looking to keep the dish a little bit healthier and more friendly towards vegan diets. By the time I got to this phase of the preparation, 3 hours had already gone by. But I had wifey's grandma in the house making some dinner, so I had to treat myself. A little bit of corned beef over rice and some tortang talong dipped in chili vinegar. Nothing beats a home-cooked meal while eating with the love of your life. Sorry, I didn't mean to call out any singles out there. Let's get back to it. We'll get to work on the shrimp. Remove the heads and peel off the shell. I didn't show it here, but save the heads and peel that too. The secret to having umami flavor in the lumpia is by mixing the peeled heads with the vegetables. Once the shrimp are peeled, we have to devein them. Let's cut the track right here real quick because this part is crucial. That little string is actually the intestines of the shrimp, and it contains excrements of what the shrimp consumed. Make sure you do this so that you don't eat shrimp poop. Clean up the chopping board and let's mince the shrimp. This is the last step of the preparation for the filling of the lumpia. Let's see what our mise-en-place looks like now. Let's take it to the wok. All we'll be doing is frying everything from longest to cook to shortest to cook, starting with the pork and ending with the vegetables. During these steps, let's tackle the question, how did this get on my plate? To see how far this dish traveled to my plate here in California, we have to go back to the 1600s in China. The word lumpia comes from the Hokkien language meaning soft cake. Sariwa is the Tagalog word for fresh. Therefore, Lumpiang Sariwa is fresh, soft cake. Hokkien is spoken predominantly in the Fujian province of China. Lumpiang Sariwa is an adaptation of a fresh spring roll dish from the Fujian province of China called popia. Popia was very popular amongst the people of the Fujian province as well as their neighboring city of Chiuchao. The city of Chiuchao is inhabited by the Chiuchao people, who were known to have a diaspora in various different regions around Southeast Asia, including Indonesia and the Philippines. This is why Indonesians are also very fond of lumpia. From there, lumpia spread throughout the Philippines and was passed down through generations, eventually making its way to my plate here through immigration of my grandparents. Now, you can find lumpia at many Filipino restaurants, but you may most likely find it at a Filipino event or gathering, as it appears to be a food to symbolize celebration, positivity, and unity. Alright, now let's go back to cooking. After cooking out the filling, we have to make the wrapper. I'm using a very basic crepe recipe to make the batter for my wrappers. It's very simple. All you need are eggs, flour, butter, milk, and salt. You'll want to make a few samples starting off to taste the wrapper if the batter is mixed to your liking. For me, I had to make some adjustments to find a good balance of saltiness and thickness of the crepe. As you can see here, I needed to adjust the flour because the batter was too runny to me. But just be patient. You want to make sure that the batter is perfect enough for you so that the shell won't break when you roll the finished product. This is my crepe maker. All you have to do is dip the griddle into the batter and let it cook out on both sides. The neat thing about these electric crepe makers is that they have a timer to let you know how long each side should be cooking for. This is not an ad for this crepe maker, but having one of these literally changed the lumpia making game. Sample out the first few crepes you make. I didn't have enough salt in the batter, so I just added some Nutella and gave it to the little cousins. They seem to like it. Looks like they might be liking it a little too much. But that's alright. This is exactly what the making of this whole dish is all about. Sharing food and sharing experiences with the family. It's also a good time to catch up on your favorite Netflix animes. I'm gonna let the wifey take over for a little bit so that way we can work on the sauce. Alright, let's start off with the chicken broth and soy sauce. We'll get these mixed together before we can go in with the brown sugar. Add however much sugar you want, but I'm using about 6 tablespoons to 4 cups of chicken broth. The sauce is supposed to taste tangy, but more on the sweeter side. Bring it to a boil before going in with the minced garlic. While that's boiling, we need to prepare about half a cup of cornstarch dissolved in cold water. Add this mixture in a little bit at a time and stir the sauce consistently to avoid clumps so that the cornstarch can cook out evenly. That's the dish, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please hit the like button to help with the YouTube algorithm and drop a comment to let me know what you think of this recipe. Also share with me what you'd like to see me cook next. As always, stay hungry, fam.